Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Friday evenings Talking Town. I am your host, The Gov, and we are not live this evening. This is a recorded video done Friday morning, 9:34 to be precise. I'll let the boys explain why we're not live this evening and why I'm not invited. Not that it's awkward or anything at all, but thank you for joining us. Get active in the chat, leave your comments. We're previewing Stoke, big home opener. Let us know how you're feeling. And of course, as always, hit the subscribe button if you're brand new to Talking Town. Lots of new subscribers in the last couple of days. Thank you ever so much. Hit the like button and, of course, share it far and wide to all your friends. And if you're a Stoke fan watching, welcome and thank you for the 3 points. Right, that's me tempting fate. Done and dusted. We're going to lose 3-0. Anyway, right, let's get cracking. Let's bring in the boys so they can explain why we're not live.
Somebody get the tables. Hard truth are here, delivering the truth that nobody wants to hear. The Cruncher and the Media Mogul.
So what's going on, boys?
Good morning.
Good morning. What's going on?
Well, good evening.
This is what's going on today.
We're down at the Essex Cricket today. We're playing Middlesex. But with Essex's batting form, Rich, we could well be home by the time this show.
Well, it's a day-night game, Matt. They might not need the floodlights. Save on the electricity down at Chelmsford. Come on, boys.
There you go.
Well, now, Martin's got the hump because he's not been invited. But
no hump.
Pre-Ashes.
He's all over it. He was all over the cricket until it rained at Old Trafford. Yeah. And then he's like, nah, this is a stupid game. I can't be bothered.
He went back to his default position before the Ashes, didn't he? Like watching paint dry. You can't get over the weather. You can't get over the weather aspect. Playing a part.
No, I can't. What's the point? Like,
he wants extra days added on and all this gump.
Too bloody right, I do. Or at least play the full overs. And our WhatsApp group currently is called Cricket Season Still On. That needs to be changed because football season is very much here, gentlemen. Town have played 2 games. I've got 3 players I've pulled out. I want to discuss them with you as we get into the proceedings and get your thoughts and feelings on them. And if they need a loan spell or not. We'll start with you, Mr. Moss, as you were there on Wednesday night even. Elkan Baggott.
I thought he was very impressive the other night in what he done. I don't see him as the spare left-sided centre-back though, Martin. At the minute, because I don't think he's experienced enough. I don't know. Look, kids, you could say he's still a kid, but I did see, Matt, that they said the highlights of the Sunderland game on YouTube, I can't remember the amount of views it had, but the amount of views the Bristol Rovers games had,
huge.
Because of Elkan's Indonesian, he's massive, isn't he, in Indonesia? Yeah. It's just like gone through the roof. I'm not saying Martin he's not a good. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I think he's going to be a real good player and a real asset for Town. I really do. But I still think he needs to be playing Saturday, Tuesday, and learning in League One and getting kicked and elbowed and
Joe Ironsided.
I think that benefit him more than being down there. And I know, look, we could liken it to Cameron Humphreys, Matt, last season when I personally thought he should have gone out on loan. And in the end, through injuries, it was probably correct decision by Kieran to keep him and he learned under him. But then you did see with him, he played quite a few games. And then towards the end, it was like, we signed Massimo Luongo, didn't we? Because I think both of them need a loan. If I'm being honest, Gov, I think both of them. I know we're talking about Elkan, but I think Cameron as well. He come on the other night. I'm really impressed every time I see him, but I want him to be playing football and learning, and not playing 23s football and playing on a Saturday, Matt, and playing on a Tuesday, playing for points in front of crowds when it means something, you know. So I think it would benefit both of them. But look, ultimately, it's down to the manager to decide what he wants to do with Elkan Baggott and Cameron Humphreys.
I do agree, though, in terms of Elkan.
Are we being too kid gloves to these kids? I mean, we referenced this last week, Martin, didn't we? That Archie Gray at Leeds, 17, thrusted straight into the first championship game, regardless of age. Now, whether or not he's head and shoulders above Cameron Humphreys, I wouldn't say he's probably head and shoulders above him, but, you know, he comes from that famous Gray Leeds dynasty, doesn't he? But do they just need game time? Are we just being too precious around them? Do you just chuck Elkan in? You just chuck Cameron Humphreys in? It seems other clubs are doing that with their teenagers, to me.
There has to be a position there to chuck them into. And you've got Burgess, you've got Fridge, you've got Wolfie. So Elkan's the de facto number 4. And I agree with Rich. He needs to go out on loan and get an iron side at Cambridge when Burgess got that nudge and was out muscled. He needs that centre forward who's going to give him some physicality, and show him really, the nuances of the game. And Cameron Humphreys, Rich mentions there, is also on the list here because he's de facto, 5th choice now. You've got Morsey and Massimo who started at Sunderland. You've got Taylor and Evans who started Wednesday night. Yeah. That makes Humphreys de facto number 5. You've got Harness who can play centrally in a case of an emergency. We've seen through pre-season. So are you with Rich? Does he need to go out on loan as well? Because, you don't want injuries through a season. And let's live in the fantasy world for a minute. We don't get any injuries. Those 4 players stay fit all year. Morsey gets his customary suspension because he's the holding midfield player. And we want to see that from our captain, that enforcement on the pitch. He doesn't play then, does he, Cameron Humphreys?
No, you're probably right when you break it down like that. I was a big fan of Cameron going out for a loan at the end of last season, just because, you've got 2 slots and 5 players there. So, that doesn't go in, does it? I mean, he did get more game time than probably what we anticipated last season, but then he grew into the role, didn't he? We've said it before, you compare him against Colchester when he missed 2 sitters to when he comes on against Lincoln when we're 1 down or whatever it was and gets that diving header. Ipswich midfielder getting a diving header. It's absolute scenes. Johnny Walk scenes. Yeah. So he has progressed there. But will we get games? You don't want these kids to get into like that, the Corey Indaba treadmill of loans, do you? I mean, look, Elkan's already gone to Gillingham and Cheltenham. You don't want them to get into that treadmill where they're gone in the thinking, aren't they? No one even references Paul Corey now, but Kilmarnock.
Played really well opening day.
Against that Rangers game, which they won, didn't they? Now, he's a good talent in Indaba. And he's had a lot of loans, isn't he? I mean, I think he come down here to Chelmsford a few years back, Rich, and then I think he went over to Hemel Hempstead.
Salford.
That's a really interesting point you make there, because I watched Life's a Pitch this morning with George Burley was on it, and he referenced that about young players, and sometimes, Matt, you just have to let them go. I'm not saying you let an Elkan Baggett go, but especially in Indaba, Martin, he's a player now who I don't see a future for him at Town, and he needs to go and forge a career somewhere. And like I've said several times on it, a little bit like Tom Eastman when he was at Town. He played a little bit under Roy Keane. He played about 8 or 10 games at right back when he was a centre back. But he went to Colchester and he played over 400 games and he's had a decent career. And that's what some of these young players, they're not all going to make it, Martin. I know we love it when our own come through, and we sing the songs, but it's not going to happen for everybody. And now, even more than in the past, we're going in an upward curve and we've got some money and we can afford to buy ready-made players than like in seasons gone by. Look, but we still do need them players coming through from the academy, and you've got to have a little sprinkling.
They've normally made the breakthrough by now, haven't they? They've not just played a Papa John's or whatever.
Yeah.
You saw a lot of that. Well, Dobra being one of them. Already gone. But when he scored that worldie in the Papa John's, and there was quite a few kids in there, and we were thinking, is this the next gen? They've all practically gone, haven't they?
But I do see room for Baggett in the future at Town, Martin. I think he's a good player, but I think for this season, go and do what Luke Wolfen had done when he was at Swindon.
Yeah.
Play week in, week out, and he played 40-odd games, got 40-odd games under his belt. And you think now, well, how old's Wolfie now? I still think he's a young player, but he's played 40-odd games for Swindon. He's played what? He must have played 150 games for Town now. So you're racking them games up, you're playing plenty of games. So this is what Elkan needs to do, and Cameron, go play 40 games. But like we said before, Matt, it does have to be the right club that they go to.
And he made an immediate impact at Swindon, I think. Like you say, he played nearly all of the season. I think he kept out like veteran players, maybe even kept the captain out of the side at one point. He was that good, Wolfenden, at Swindon all those, a few years back.
Yeah. I think with Cameron is obviously they got a good extended look at him, perhaps unexpectedly last year. And as fans, we kind of want it both ways. We all wanted Massimo to rejoin, but the club were clearly still interested in Jack Taylor because they eventually signed him, having chased him for 6 months. You kind of wanted Mass or Taylor because then Humphreys has that closer step to the first team, doesn't he? Because if you don't sign Massimo in a world, you've got Taylor, Morsey, Evans, Cam. Or if you sign Massimo and not Taylor, you've got Massimo, Morsey, Evans can. But the way they've sort of stacked it so far would suggest after the extended look, perhaps they still feel Cam's got a bit to learn, and perhaps a loan spell would suit him. It just, the numbers game doesn't add up. And another player that doesn't add up for the numbers game, Matt, is my mate, who I've often said he should be out on loan. It's Kyle Edwards. Wasn't involved Sunday.
No.
Wasn't involved Wednesday. Martin Pert confirmed after the game he's not injured. He trained with a small group on tactical work. I love Kyle. He's an impact player. But like the other two, he needed games this time last year, but he desperately needs games again. Where are you on him? Loan or sell?
Difficult one, this, because like you say, he's an impact flair player, and I do like that. Inconsistency is the killer for him, isn't it? You get the performance like you saw against Cambridge that time, where he scored 2 goals and he sort of took off, and you saw it all the confidence in the world in him. Brilliant. We want him to do well. Then other times he's just flat as a pancake. Now, can a player with those attributes actually make some kind of significant impact for Town in a promotion run? They're obviously thinking no, because he's not featured in the 2 games. Now, he featured in that Luton game, didn't he? At Colchester, come on in that second half. I thought he did all right. But the fact, it looks like Amari Hutchinson is the one, isn't it? I mean, they're kind of vying for those kind of wider roles. Hutchinson seems to be able to play either side by the looks of things. The writing's on the wall for Carl a little bit. I could see him getting maybe sold.
Okay. All right. Rich, Reading next in the cup. Your thoughts on that quickly before we
just quickly on Kyle Edwards. I think that we all love him, Martin. He's a real great character, and he's obviously, they had some. I think he was linked to Hull. Did they had a bid last January for him? And I think then, or they were linked with him. I think it was probably a sensible move to keep him because look, we wanted players who could make an impact. We need to get out of this league, and he could play in this league. But I think Chris did probably touch on when they both come. Raheem Harper and Kyle Edwards, they're both very talented. Obviously, Raheem's left. Kyle Edwards, this is where I see fans this morning. I'll put a tweet out, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, but I'd rather keep Kyle and get rid of Harness." Well, obviously, Kieran, he trusts Marcus Harness, right? And when he brings him on, he trusts him to keep the shape or whatever. Kyle's a bit of a maverick, and he's one of these players who can think outside the box and do a bit of skill that probably Harness can't do. But I don't think he's consistent enough. And he's in, is this the last year of his contract, Martin?
I believe so, yeah, without checking.
So listen, he's in his 3rd season at Town, and he's still not made the breakthrough. The writing's on the wall. I think he gets sold, and then you use that space for someone else. And we'll have good memories of Kyle. But like I think Lewis Robertson referenced at last season, you got to be ruthless now, Martin, and you'll have your favourites. And we've achieved something, Matt, that we haven't done for years. We've actually, a group of players have achieved something, and not all of them will come on the journey. So some of them you have to say thanks very much, shake their hands, and we'll always remember them fondly. But that's football.
And the fact you've got 9 subs and he hasn't been on them,
maybe Sunderland, I thought he might not be on there. The other night when you've got 3 kids on the bench and they've got in front of Carl. So is there some transfer? Something going on in the background already where he might be leaving? I'd be surprised if he's here come this 1st of September, Martin, really.
And what about Reading in the next round?
Underwhelming draw, wasn't it, Matt?
Reading are like this sort of bad penny that keeps popping up, and you just can't shake them off. The world's most boring club, we've called them before.
We have.
Yeah.
Winnable game. Winnable side.
It is. But you would have thought a Premier League side, the way they're really loving McKenna in the media at the moment, that would have been on TV, because they would have loved to have seen McKenna pit his wits this early against the Premier League side. Yeah, even a top-ended Championship side. But Reading, it's a potential slip-up. It's winnable, but you could slip up. It's away, so you don't even get sort of that home exposure for fans. Because I saw loads of Instagram stories Wednesday night of new fans going, young children going with their parents for the first time or the first few times. And that's what you want from cup games. That's to get them introduced to the world of football and get their feet wet and get them that bug and that drive. And you don't get that away at Reading. I know Reading fans will say, it's our turn. But, I'm an Ipswich Town podcaster.
Spurs and Chelsea were still in the draw as well, weren't they? We pulled Reading out.
Stoke next, right? So 11 new signings. Some fans expect as many as 15 come the end of the window. I've seen lots of sort of words about them. Some fans rate them as top 6 dark horses. Some say they'll be in the bottom half like they were last year. These are some of the words I've heard to describe them, right? Rebuild job, transition, not a clue what to expect. Anything above 10th is good. They beat Rotherham 4-1 on the opening day. They beat West Brom 2-0 in the Carabao Cup Tuesday night. What do you two expect from Stoke going into this one, Rich?
It's hard to know because I think Rotherham are going to struggle. I see Stoke sold. What's the striker they sold to Luton?
Jacob Brown.
Yeah, so he's gone.
Oh, against Rotherham.
Yeah, so he's gone, and he was expected. I think he was going to go. Obviously, our old friend Alex Neil, coming back to East Anglia. So he'll probably get a little bit of a reception, I would have thought. But I think any game in this league, Martin, I think probably a lot of our fans will think, right, we got a great win last week at the stadium, like 2-1. It's Stoke at home. It's an easy 3 points, and I don't think that'll be the case. I think I tipped them, didn't I, in our preview show? I think that as my dark horses, because I look at them and think, since they got relegated, Matt, from the Premier League, they've not even come anywhere close to the playoffs. And I think, obviously, they got a bit of money with the coats behind them. So, and I think Alex Neil's a good manager. I really do in this division. So, I think it'll be a really tough game tomorrow at Portman Road. Obviously, I think it's going to be a sellout. And I hope Town start a little bit better than they did at Sunderland. Them first 15, 20 minutes. It's
and finish. Let's not pretend we started really badly.
But we just got deeper and deeper. Like I said when I come on the show on Monday, and it was like these games. It's going to be. It didn't bite us in the Sunderland game. We need to be more. This is what the one takeaway, guys, I'll take from that Sunderland game is. We've got to be more ruthless and we've got to be more clinical. When you have them, there were several chances there, Martin. I'm not just on about Freddie's one when he was through, but several times when just make that right decision and we'd have got another goal and we'd have just seen the game out and it'd have been people at the stadium, people watching at home. It would have been an easy last 5 or 10 minutes. But because we didn't, we made it real difficult for ourselves, Matt. And we done it last season. We go on about it. Charlton away. We didn't see the game out there. So, and now you're up against better players. You know. So that's what the one takeaway I'd take from that is. You've got to be more clinical. And when you get them opportunities to get another goal and make it a lot easier for yourself, you got to take it. And this is where tomorrow we could be 1-0 up in the last 5 minutes and just take that chance and make it a lot more comfortable for the fans and obviously look the players themselves. But yeah, I think hard game tomorrow. I think it'll be quite tight. I think.
Matt.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think Stoke are going to be a decent team. They've got that Moroccan lad up front. They brought in from Ferencvaros in Hungary for about 4 million quid. Yeah, however you say his name.
You're asking me? I can't do Paul Smith. But yeah, Mimi, 3.4 million, 25 goals in 43 games in the Hungarian league.
Yeah, which is not the greatest standard, but they've obviously scouted him to a degree that they think, he can do something in the Championship. Ditto that Vidigal they've brought in, who scored 2 last week as well. So, if anyone thinks we're going to roll these over tomorrow, I think it's going to be a tough game. And certainly, if, there was nerves around us at the Stadium of Light. Is there going to be nerves back at Portman Road, as you say? Sometimes it can be counterproductive, can't you? The expectation that we've got now with 3 points and the sold out stadium, etc. So I think it will be tough. I mean, look, Rotherham, we all expect probably to go down, and Stoke has swept them aside. So I'd imagine it will be quite a competitive game, and I would imagine it would be quite a close game. So if we don't get, we want a 1 point minimum, don't we? But I don't want everyone to sort of, oh God, the season's going downhill just because we have not been able to beat Stoke. I'm trying to remain.
Says him.
Look at him. He's turned over a new leaf, isn't he now?
He was saying became the job centre in January.
Well, against the odds, he got us promoted. So he's kind of got a pass from me this season because he achieved something I didn't think he would. Yeah.
Right. On that Ladapo chance, by the way, I just want to, as a defender, mention and give a shout out to the Sunderland centre half who've done really well.
Yeah, he did do well.
Freddie's chance to cut it back. This is the expected lineup according to, bear with me one moment, according to Peter Smith of the Stoke Centennial. I'm going to run through it, and then you can give me your thoughts, because they've had quite a few, new players. This is the expected lineup: Travers, Hover, Stevens, McNally, who you might remember, Rich,
Yeah,
linked with him through
he's
the
on
summer.
loan. He's on loan from
Luke
Burnley.
McNally,
Luke
certainly
McNally,
is. Wilmot, Pearson, Ben Pearson, on loan at Stoke last year, signed in the summer,
From Preston.
158 games for Preston before Bournemouth.
Yeah,
and then
he's a right
46
shithouse, he
games
is.
for Bournemouth in 2 years. Laron Johnson, who I love. Daniel Johnson, I think he's a great player at this level. Free
Preston.
transfer from Preston.
Very good player.
Really good. I was interested in him. He'd have been my preferred option to re-sign in Sonny Aluko. Experienced, know-how, but some absolute quality in there. Vidigal, who is apparently lightning quick, already got off to a great year. Wesley, do you remember that name there, boys? Wesley, 22 million for Aston Villa.
Yeah, 22 mil.
Blimey.
22 million. Obviously had a lengthy injury. Things like
Moraes,
15
isn't it?
months.
Wesley Moraes, something like that, isn't it? Moraes,
Possibly. I just know him as Wesley.
Him, Wesley.
And then Giacchino, who is on loan from Wolves, and Vidigal they signed from.
How do they set up mine? What formation do they play?
4-3-3, apparently, with 2 lightning quick wingers in Vidigal and Giacchino. And then you've got Wesley central or Mimi, but Peter Smith has gone with Mimi.
Mimi?
Mimi? No, sorry. Yeah. Mimi.
I used to love the Muppet song like that.
It's a great song, isn't it? Great song.
Great song.
So, with the question of pace, I've got my expected lineup, which I'll put on the screen in a second. But before we get into that, pace. Harry Clark, Janoy, Harry Clark. Who are you edging towards, Mr. Moss?
Well, he played 20, didn't he, the other night, Harry Clark? He looked fairly lively when he came on. Look, you're playing at home. You need his attacking qualities, I say. And look, obviously against his former loan club as well, so he'll be chomping in a bit to play. I thought, look, I didn't agree with Tux, and I didn't agree with you. I thought JD had a fairly steady game at Sunderland, but we all know that he gets a nosebleed when he crosses the. He does, doesn't he? When he crosses the halfway line. So if Harry Clark is fit, and we signed him obviously because he was the upgrade on JD. So if Harry Clark's anywhere near fit, he plays for me.
Okay, yeah, all right, no problem. This is what I believe the team will be. I've been almost 100% so far, so we'll see how we get on today, because I've gone with Haladki in goal, Clark, Wolfenden, Burgess, Davis, Morsey, Taylor, Burns, Chaplin, Broadhead, and Hurst. Matthew Phillips. I was bitterly disappointed Taylor didn't make the Sunderland game. For me, you've chased him for 6 months. Currently, as it stands, one of your marquee signers at $1.5 million. Got bags of potential, played well on Wednesday, home opener in the league. This is the chance now to throw him in next to Morsey and really show the fans what we've picked up. So I've gone with Taylor. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably going to be the only question mark, I think, in the lineup. I think you're probably spot on with the rest of it. I mean, Luongo did play well against Sunderland. I mean, look, we sort of bat and forth with Tux, didn't we? Is Luongo going to be the safer pair of hands at big occasions, at away games? But look, Luongo scored goals at Pullman Road and has been box to box at Pullman Road. Now, Taylor's Johnny on the spot, wasn't he, against in Bristol Rovers? Lovely dummy, Rich, from Amari, wasn't it? From the Caden Jackson cross. That was brilliant, that. For him to score. Yeah, that's a real conundrum. That is real. I wouldn't want to be McKenna making that choice. I mean, do you know what? I'd still edge with Luongo, I think. Okay. When we're talking about players you've just been speaking about, like the Wesley, who's been at Villa, he's 22 million. I would edge towards his experience, and him and Morsey have got a partnership playing at home. It will be in League One. Luongo scored goals at Portman Road. I'm still probably edging towards him, which is harsh on Taylor, because I thought Taylor Morsey was going to be the dynamic for midfield through the whole season. But at the moment, I have not seen Luongo put a foot wrong. So I would pick him.
I've gone for Taylor because I knew I loved the player, Rich.
Yeah.
But the one thing I noticed, first 20, last 20, energy, wanting too much time on the ball, massive gaps in our central midfield area where I just felt at times we were getting overrun. And I want that energy. I want the legs. I want the buzz, the youthful enthusiasm, if you like, of a Jack Taylor in there who's going to buzz around the pitch and let Morsey sit centrally and just dictate the enforcement. That's why I've gone for Taylor, Rich.
I was really impressed with him the other night against Bristol. I know he's capable of playing League One because he's played there for Peterborough, but I thought he was good on the ball. He got forward. He's in there, and I think he'll score goals, Martin. I think he's got a goal in him, and he was Johnny on the spot. He could have had another one. There was one, I think, where the keeper was muddling about a bit, and he nicked it, and he chipped it over him, and he got cleared off the line. I'm going with Luongo tomorrow. I agree with Matt. I think he's not let us down. He's not let us down in any of these games. And Town are unbeaten. Every single game he's played, we haven't lost a game. We are 21 games unbeaten, guys. We are the longest unbeaten run in the country at the minute. So we all know Taylor's the future. I think that's fully aware because Mass has only signed that 1-year contract. But at the minute, we're just new in this division and it's a long season. At the minute, I think, because there's no midweek games, I see Luongo playing the next few games, Matt. It's when there's a Saturday, Tuesday. I'm not sure. I think is that Southampton, Martin, after Sheffield Wednesday. That's when you might see a change. Can Luongo play Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday? Probably not. I know there's an international break in there before we go to Hillsborough on the 9th of September. So that's when I might see Jack Taylor come in. Look, Jack Taylor, he's a fantastic signing. We've seen enough of him for Peterborough to know. And you put the stats up, Martin, before what he'd done for Peterborough, and it was a lot better than any of our midfield had done.
Even last year, statistically, had a better year than Morton and Taylor.
So, but Luongo's not let us down so far. And I think tomorrow, I don't think he'll let us down tomorrow. So I'm going with Luongo. But I'm a massive Jack Taylor fan.
All right. As am I. Every week, I'm going to put my score prediction up along with a random contributor, and I want the contributor on the screen, which is obviously you two today, to tell me if we're in the ballpark, if we're right, or if you disagree in what your score prediction is going to be for the weekend. We did our own audio-only podcast like with Neil. He did 3-1 for Ipswich Town. On the screen now is the score predictions from myself, 2-1, and Tux has also gone 2-1, the peaky one. The random contributor this week. Neil 3-1, Tux 2-1, me 2-1. Matthew, kick off with you. Are any of us right, or have you got another score prediction for us?
Well, I hope you're all right. I don't know. It just feels like on the back of Stoke's win last week, they've beaten. They've made changes in the week, haven't they? In the Carabao and beaten West Bromwich Albion. I just feel like there's some quality in there, and they've spent big money on some players. I feel like it could be. We rode our luck a little bit last week. I feel like it could be a 1-1.
Okay.
I think it could be 1-1 tomorrow. I hope I'm wrong and you're all correct. We get the 3 points, but I just feel like it's probably going to be tougher. And when Rich talks about Stoke being a dark horse, that could well be correct. I mean, there's been a lot of negativity around Alex Neil in that they didn't feel like he had progressed them like they thought they would, but they've obviously spent some money in the summer, and I think they could have a decent season. So I think it'll be a very tough game tomorrow. Very tough.
Okay. Rich?
I'm going to be the fly in the ointment again. I'm going Ipswich Town 1, Stoke City 2 tomorrow. I think, look, it's going to be a real tough game, and you'll have a lot of fans who go into that game tomorrow thinking, we beat Sunderland away, nailed on 3 points. Right. Listen, this team is no mugs in this league. So sooner or later, we are going to have a come down, Matt, because we're not winning every week. And I think tomorrow might be that day. I think it'll be a very tight game, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a late goal because there's probably going to be quite a lot of injury time, which obviously there was on Sunday at the Stadium of Light. So I think Stoke might just edge it. It's off the bench for me. Have we got that quality, Martin, that our starting 11 has got? Because with these games going longer now, like I said to you on, I think it's Monday when I come on, the subs are going to be massive. Subs are going to be massive, and they've got a massive part to play. Just because you're not starting the game, you're going to be finishing the game. And a George Hurst, he's probably only going to play 65, 70 minutes. Can a Ladapo come on, and can he affect the game in the way that George Hurst? And what I've seen so far, Freddie, I've been disappointed, Martin, in the 2 games. I thought he wasn't great at Sunderland, and I thought he was really off the pace the other night. So when he comes on tomorrow, and he will come on, I'd be surprised if he didn't. Question marks. Let's see if Freddie can answer. Look, I'd love nothing more than to eat my words and Ladapo scores the winner. That'd be brilliant.
He started slow last year,
and
got red hot. So let's see if the same thing happens again. Neil really wanted us yesterday on the audio podcast to stamp a mark down. Portman Road is your home territory.
Is this available? Is this available to listen to?
Available everywhere on podcasts platforms. You can find it anywhere and everywhere. Go and find it.
I'll have a listen to that.
Yeah, go and have a listen. But he wanted us to stamp the authority. He wanted us to make the road a fortress, and you do that first home game of the year by not getting beat, I guess, in that world. But there we go. So there's the scores. That's the preview. To end the show, we have got a Bridge of Lies for Matthew Phillips, because Richard Moss has already done the Bridge of Lies. He got 3 points.
Yes, 3, not 2, by the way.
Yes, absolutely.
Should have got full house. David McGoldrick. Did you know David McGoldrick, Matt, had played for Bournemouth?
I didn't know that.
Did you not? Did you not? Right. So you start with the goalkeepers, and you've got to try and make your way towards the goal. In each line, one answer is true. The others are false. This is I have played for. We'll start with Haladki and Alexander. Haladki and Livingston, Alexander and Livingston. I have played for one.
Come on, Matt. I think I could sort this one out.
Oh God. Well, I'm going to go with Alexander.
Correct. That is the truth. Yes, he has played for Livingston.
This is easy. This is simple.
Well, we'll see, won't we? Delaney and QPR, Macaulay and Shrewsbury, Chambers and Cambridge.
Well, Delaney, QPR.
Correct. Fraser and Hearts, Holland and Villa, Bishop and Lincoln.
Bishop, Lincoln.
Correct. Chaplin and Southampton, Fallon and Swansea, Le Pen and Lyon.
Fallon, Swansea.
God, look at you. Right, last one. Ladapo and QPR, or Sears and Scunthorpe. Are we going to get our first full house?
No, I don't think Ladapo's been at QPR, so I'm going to go with Sears at Scunthorpe.
He's got it. He's got it.
I want a steward's inquiry. That's a lot easier than my one. Bloody hell. I could have done that with my eyes closed.
I got your one.
See, he got your one as well. He got your one as
well. Hang on. Google's not allowed, Matt.
I had to toss a coin there on Haladki and Alexander, both having played in Scotland.
That was the tricky one. I was trying to trip him up to start off with. Then I got soft as well.
You got to make it a lot more difficult. You got to make it a lot more difficult for people.
I have. I won't go soft in week 3, but he doesn't often do the match preview in the Bridge of Lies on a Wednesday, so I thought I'd be.
I like that. That's a good game.
Very good. Yeah, very good.
Good game. There you go. How'd you do at home? Let us know in the comments. Did you get 4 like Matty Phillips, or did you fall short like Rich did last week and get 3 again? 3's a good score to kick yourself off with. You know.
That's not disappointed in myself.
As you should.
Must do better next time.
Hopefully, we won't be disappointed come Saturday evening. We're live at the Statue for the match reaction show. But until then, these two are off to the cricket to go and watch about 1 million.
Good luck tomorrow if you're parking at Portman Road. Is all I can say.
Oh,
which is getting the first round in.
I doubt that. Also, if you are travelling from Lowestoft, a little bit of travel information here. Live, well, not live, but recorded on Talking Town. Are you travelling to Ipswich Town versus Stoke on Saturday, 12th of August? These services will not run due to action short of a strike. 13:06 Lowestoft to Ipswich, 17:16 Lowestoft to Ipswich to Lowestoft, 17:58 Ipswich to Peterborough, and 18:21 Ipswich.
Well, the 17:16 train will be out anyway with the amount of bloody extra time, and that's never happening.
No,
no one's getting that
anyway.
One.
You'll enjoy Portman Road tomorrow because it's had a spruce up, Gov, and it does look very, very good. If you look at the new, there's a good video, Matt. I don't know if you've seen it of the new. Is he like the stadium manager? I can't remember. His name's Richard someone. He goes around and they've done a lot of work, and I think they had 43 projects that they were working on over the summer.
Really,
and it does look good, and it showed that just a little bit of TLC, Martin and Matt. You know, doesn't take a lot.
And a bit of money.
True.
Yeah, true.
True.
But, you know,
looks good though. Looks really good. The blue carpet.
It does. Right, you two got to go. You two got to go. You've got to get on in the car. Get yourself down to cricket. Enjoy the day. But we'll see you tomorrow live for the match reaction. This is Talking Town. Hit the like, subscribe, and we'll catch you down the road. Hi guys, just a quick note to say we have teamed up with Drip Socks for their Amazon Early Bird pre-launch offer. I don't know how long this offer will be available for, but it is a limited time. So if you are interested, information on the screen, head to the link in the description and check it out.